I joined ASPHO in the early 1990s, and what I saw then and appreciate so much since is the opportunity for networking and just getting to meet other people in the field. We get sort of provincial in our own institutions, and there were certainly other ways to meet individuals in our specialty through the precursors of COG and ASH and ASCO, but this was a much smaller society, really our peers, people focusing in pediatrics. And so it was a wonderful opportunity for me, not just in the old days, but even now, to meet other people in the field, and I think especially an opportunity for young people. I think early, when I was president in the late 1990s, there were certainly a lot of the fellows and other new faculty members and practitioners who were joining the society, but not nearly as many as now. So it's wide open now. Every fellow is a member of the society, gets to come to the meetings, and what a treat it is for them to actually hear and meet one-on-one some of the legendary figures in the specialty. And that's been so important for our society and greatly meaningful for all the young people.
So I joined a little earlier than George, and the organization was a very modest and had a few hundred members, and Carl Puccettoli and his wife really ran the organization, started the journal, had it at the Drake Hotel, and oversaw everything. A big difference now was, I joined because they asked me to give a talk, and then they provided more and more opportunities within the organization for leadership and for bringing other people in. And it wasn't so overwhelming as ASCO or ASH, and we really had a chance to talk with one another and to communicate and help one another. A big difference is that it's much bigger, and everybody looks very young, and I don't know everybody anymore. I think it has been a forum for change within the field, even I think with Bill spearheading some of the sickle cell initiatives in the recent past, and with all of us contributing to communicating both not only locally and within the discipline, but nationally and internationally.
So I was one of the first to join because Bill Crivet basically advertised it within those of us in Minnesota. And at the very first meeting, which I think was at SPR, it was long before we had our own meeting, Bill insisted that Norma Ramsey and I stay at the door with our hat out, asking for volunteer money to get this thing going. That is absolutely true. So I actually collected the first quote-unquote dues, if you will, from that. The society, to me, is the place that represents who we are as pediatric hematologists, oncologists. We don't get this anywhere else. We all just came from a break after a fantastic presidential symposium, Jeff, and just seeing the camaraderie and the discussion among everybody and the hugs as people renew friendships is incredible. But we drive everything. We're driving good science. We're driving great education at this meeting, and we're driving all of the important practice indicators that traditionally academic medicine never paid as much attention to as it is today. And I think that it's that combination of being all-inclusive for our society that keeps me wanting to be as involved as I can.
Who collected more money, you or Norma?
Oh, she was better looking than me.
Well, that's for sure. All right. So, So I first came to an ASPHO meeting when I was invited to speak, and came, and it was not well publicized at my institution prior to that. It's amazing that there's so many of us involved now. It's really been a sea change. But I came and I realized what a fabulous educational opportunity this was, that it was much better than any of the others because it was focused on what we did. And then I recognized quickly how wonderful the interactions were with the colleagues. And I think it's particularly true even as an oncologist for hematologists because they don't have the COG meetings and the precursors of the COG meetings. And then, you know, as has been mentioned before, the fellows. I think that a third of the people at the meeting this year or somewhere in that range are fellows, and that's just unbelievable. And I think speaks to how how vibrant and how exciting this society is moving forward. You know, it's gone from primarily an educational focus to incorporating much more science, and it's gone from an educational group that was focused on disease processes to an educational group that's become focused on safety and communication and education, all kinds of other things that are so important for our field to move forward, and that can be done in our society in a way that's very positive. And the clinical practice guidelines we're about to move into, I can't begin to say how exciting it is, the future is, with all the fantastic initiatives. And I also want to just briefly give a real shout out to the AMC, our management group, that Cynthia Porter and all the people she works with. This society would be a far different place if they didn't do the work they did in such an enthusiastic manner and really care about what they do and care about the society. It really allows us to be involved in ways that are very, very positive. And so I want to thank them for what they do, especially.